Hello everyone, this is TechStack here. Hey, I'm not going to message in Discord this time because it's getting kind of late and I don't want to add everybody real late at night. So lots of debug stuff on the screen, right? I off stream here pulled my hair out, and what I was pulling my hair out was I realized at the end of the last stream that the reason that these things were not working properly and we're getting these half buildings isn't because of any fault of Minecraft. It was the way that my code was working to pick up, hey Reaper, to pick up where I was placing the block. So if I placed like this and I was crossing the chunk border, something about the chunk, if anything updating the chunk, you get the information. But what you wouldn't get is the fact that these guys wouldn't come out, right? And they wouldn't come out for a very good reason. I was scanning the wrong area, right? So now, if we do them in a way where there's one for each direction, we now get them coming out because we're scanning the proper area and there is no cutting off of the structure, right? So if I do it like that, we're good to go. So that is all resolved now. Yay! That was a big headache. It's a lot of trying to figure out what the orientation of the XYZ coordinate plane should be based on the rotation, right? And for me, that's just trial and error. Now, the other thing I wanted to do, we are in the negative X coordinate and the positive Y. Let's go to 0, 0, 0, cross that plane into positive X territory and make sure nothing breaks. I might cry if it does, because it's going to be bad. TP dev to 0, this relative coordinate, and 0. Hey Tech, I'm on mobile and not signed in as Blue Boy. Okay. Plus I can't turn sounds on up, so I'm sort of watching a silent movie. It's a lot of bluffering. Okay. No worries, man. In fact, I'll type that out. No worries. So, now that we're over here, let's go in the positive X direction somewhere. And negative Y, sure. Does it work? Oh my gosh, it does. And we are at, looking at what? 15, negative 12, awesome. Is this still going to be negatives? No, let's cross this chunk border over here instead. And those are positives too, what the heck? Those are positives, those are positives. Where we gotta go? This way. Wait, we want positives next. Third. Okay, that's working. As for the south direction, we've got one to the east, one to the north. We need to try one for the west. Let's go further this way. And place it right there. Come out. Yes, we got it. Yeah, all good, man. Okay, let's kill these guys. This is awesome. Now, what does this mean for us if we were to have a situation where this block gets replaced? Because I was experimenting a lot with this, right? And if I spawn this in, and spawn another one, spawn another one, spawn another one, spawn another one, cool. I was afraid that these guys were going to get trapped in the blocks, right? If we were to go from a damaged state where, say, that block wasn't there, and one of these guys walked into this block, and then we like healed it or something, that could be a problem because they would get inside the block and start dying. But you'd lose one guy. I'm not super worried about that. Looking at this, we don't have banners, do we? Why do we not have banners? The other world, I believe, had the banner. I don't know. If I put this down, that is the right block. Load. Load. You're not loading. Oh, Too many breakpoints all over my code from testing earlier. Makes it very inefficient for me to test things. Come on. And what happens? Do we have a banner? We do not. Okay. Reaper. So, think about a garrison, or a town center, or a mine site, or a stables, or an archery building, right? Before, we would just place down a single block. Now we're going to place it so that you use a constructor, and it creates a whole building for you. Right? And that building represents the barracks, right? Or the garrison. We're going to also spawn entities that the tile entity will track, that the block will track, that says what its health of this building is, and we'll be able to change the state of this building through other structures so that it, you know, looks something more like this when it's damaged, right? And then when it's all the way destroyed, maybe you'll have something that, you know, the logs are turned because they fell down like that. I don't know. You won't have most of the structure here. Maybe the cobble at the bottom will turn into mossy cobble. Just, you know, look more destroyed, basically, right? If there was brick in it, it'd be cracked brick. There might be holes in that. Everything on the top would be gone. And that would be like the destroyed look of it, right? It will be closer to Age of Empires, more likely. And I'm okay with that. I don't know what War of Worldcraft is, anyway. So, right, it might be... That might be what it ends up looking like when it's totally destroyed. Just the rubble left over from this thing, right? And that will stop you from building there again. I guess the tile would still be there. It'll stop you from building there again until this despawns. It will despawn on its own. It'll clean up after itself. At least that's the idea when we're all the way down. Okay, kill all these guys. They're gonna start lagging out the world. They never despawn. I made sure they don't despawn. They also need to not drop XP, so it doesn't lag out the world. In fact, let's add that to our to-do list. On GitHub. GitHub. Just pull us off. I don't know what else we got in here. Okay. Projects. This one. To do. Minions should not drop XP. Add. Okay, good. Now, the blocks here, when we place this, currently it's just assuming whatever the data of this block is, which just happens to be red, which is right in this case, but it needs to look at the player instead and get the player. So we can do that inside our code. If I can get the right window open. This one. Where we're changing the... You should add a teleporter to allow easy player transportation through the map. Yeah, we'll deal with that when that becomes a big problem. I'm trying to get a level of core features or a minimum viable product so that we can playtest it, basically, and see if it's worth continuing. So .set owner, and we get the player or context player get scoreboard name. Boom, done. Why is get player airing? There we go. Cool. And that should be all there is to it. We need to then go into our owned tile entity. We've added this get or rally point block position, but we didn't add it into our NBT data, so it will save that information. So let's do that now. So owner, or let's see, we're gonna get rally point equals compound dot get block position. No, int. Okay, so we're gonna have to do this funny. So we need to int x equals this, and our key will be rally point x, right? And we'll do the same for y and z. Y and then y, z and z. And then we can say new block position x, y, z. Cool. Then we can come in here. We need to say NBT apparently. I don't know why, but we did. We're going to set an integer of that to the x, y, and z, which is going to be our rally point dot get x. We can get rid of this and this and this. Get y. Get z. You should. Oh, okay. So what you're saying. Yeah. Like, I don't mind ideas, man. You know that. Why is it not working? Put in. Okay. Fair enough. Compile it up. Clips. You can do it. There's no errors. Good. Okay, so that should save that. Now, I know we went through the work of creating this item like this, but this needs to be kind of... we need to use object-oriented programming on this, basically. I don't want to have to copy this code into every single one, right? So the way to do that is to take this class and create it as its own thing. I'm going to copy it, paste it back in, and it's going to be a... a builder item, generic builder item, right? And we're going to instead not do this, and we're going to have another method. Yeah, I have to do that, really? Yeah, that works. Okay, so we're going to have another method that sets this. So source, setters, and getters. Template name, yep. There we go. And we can override the get template in the other class. Yeah, that should be okay. Probably only one place in this whole code we're using it anyway. We're using template name right there. Yep, that's exactly what we're gonna do. Okay, let's clean up our debug code as well. It's no longer needed. And we should be golden then. So we're going to default into doing this garrison red, that's fine, but what we're going to do is on get template name of this class, we're going to override this one and get rid of this piece. Oop. This, and this is going to extend not item, but the generic. generic builder item. And now we have everything set up. We change this to be whatever it needs to be though. Terminate, yep. Okay, so this becomes that, right? Okay, we've already got it, never mind. We're good. So it returns the template. That's all there's to it. Can we make that? So like that. We're gonna make this one say dummy. Dummy. And let's run this again, make sure it still works. Hey Spooderman. Welcome back. So Spooderman, we fixed the bug we were having earlier. It now spawns correctly. Okay. Oh, right. Huh. Thank you. Had an error during loading. Error during the loading of load registries event phase. So I'm gonna assume it's the item event. But why would that give us this particular error? I don't know. Because this is setting the registry name. This one's just a middleman class. It doesn't really do anything. It's passing in the properties from the other one. Alright, so if we hit F3 on this, it's going to take in the properties and just go through it. Yeah, it's pretty confusing. Basically, you get in the machines by right-clicking on them after you've placed them in the world and drive around with your WASD keys. Later, Reaper. And to get out, you hold shift or you hit shift. To make the bucket go up, you typically hit your jump key. To make it go down, you sprint. Your space and your control keys. Those are the defaults. So let's open the latest log. That's what we want to do. Okay, what are you airing off for? Line 75 on item registry. Okay. Yeah, okay. I mean, you're free to ask questions, man. I'll answer what I can. It's weird it didn't air off in the... Didn't air off. It aired off on line 75 of the main class, not this one. Cool. That's intended to really reflect what happens in the real world. Listeners, normal, ASM, those. Character in path of location. Oh, it doesn't have... I got it. Okay. So let's just leave it null. Yeah, let's just return null. Let's leave it as null. Like to join? Oh, the test server? Yeah. So if you've got Discord, there's a link to Discord in the chat of this, or in the description of this video. You can go in there, and there's a mod testing server info, and that's the server that we've got set up. It tells how to download the pack and everything, right? So that's the version of the mod that is public right now. But it's also, as we work on that mod more, we'll get the updates before I make them out there in CurseForge. So it could be buggy, but it's usually... I can't play... I play it with an alt. Not sure what you mean by an alt. Like on another account? I don't care. If your game name's different, that's fine. There are several people like that. Like Ramon there is Reaper. I don't even think he has Reaper in his... Like, that's not his Minecraft name, it's something else. Okay, so we got XP. Let's... What was I doing last? Oh. Are you saying it's a hacked account? Uh-oh. I didn't hear that. Alright, I know what we're doing. Jeez. Yay, it works. So now what's that mean for me? That means I can very easily make a new class. I have a new one of these, right? In fact, can I make this abstract so I force myself to override this? Let's terminate. I want to see if it'll let me. Why is it airing off on this line? Like that I can understand. Remove method body. Okay. Nice. So build the conveyor from a mob spawner to a mob shredder, like a normal monster spawner, right? The mobs pay with what it did. And then you can build an XP collector. 3 of those blocks on top of each other. Start at the bottom, build the middle, then the top. And it will suck up all the XP. Okay, so we make that abstract, then does that work? I bet it's going to air off on the other method. Right? Maybe? No? Well, that's exactly what I want then. So this code is forced. This is not forced. This is not forced. So we have to have this if we extend this. So we always give it a proper template name. How do the bleak portals work? So there's a bleak portal frame. You need to put 3 on the left side, 3 on the right side, with 1 block gap in between them. Then right-click the ground with a collapsed star, and it will open the portal. And once the portal's open, you shift in it to teleport through it. Hey, CZ.
I'm back. Hello.
Welcome back. So you didn't see anything this morning, did you? So I've got it so that it will take the... I figured out how to do the structures and load them in. I've got an item, not the block of the tile entity, so I think that's a bit of an improvement. And it spawns the template in. The template will need to have the tile entity somewhere in it. On the tile entity of the block, so like the garrison, right? It finds it after it places it, and tells it what the owner should be so it can figure out its team. Because it's going to default to whatever the scanned one is for the owner. And it will also set a rally point at the point where you clicked on the ground, right? Like we talked about. They are rotationally correct now, which is what I was just figuring out a bit ago. Yeah, and I'm just now making it so it's more object oriented so that as I add these additional items, it's easy for me to just add another one instead of rewriting a bunch of code every time. Cool, and it just worked.
Okay, and you do have the target blocks?
I don't have the target blocks yet.
Okay.
I literally, like, when I said got it in the chat, I just fixed this one bug. It was causing quite a bit of problems. I took a big break today. Yep, it's working for both directions. If I face this way, there's that. And if I face this way, notice that I changed the town one to have the block in it, so I can start testing what the blocks do.
All right. I think I'm going to start by just making a list of the buildings that we actually need. Because it seems like we want a building for each of your resource blocks too.
But the resource blocks, we don't need a different one for each resource.
That's true. It could be the same for multiples, but you probably want to leave it flexible enough that we could change that. Because the lumberyard, I could see that not being the same looking block as the rest of these.
Agree. I think the lumber block or lumberyard or tree farm, whatever you want to call it, is something different. But the stone, iron,
the others are all just mines.
Yeah, they're all mines. Right, exactly.
But we might want, I don't know, you might want to be able to tell whether a mine is a diamond mine or an iron mine. That could be a strategic advantage.
True. It could be.
So I think for the sake of the code, you're calling a separate template for each one, but we can just copy it for the ones that it's the same for.
If you take, say, diamonds on the ground, like this mine, right? If you had this be your mine, if that was air, you could see what it is.
Yeah.
It's an option.
But it's I don't see it being any more coding effort to just use a different template for each one. Am I wrong? You're just calling a structure whenever they place the block down.
It would be a different item. So, if you're watching the stream, I don't know if you are, but if you're watching the stream,
I was, but I went full screen and okay, I'm watching now.
So I've got an item in my hand that's not the tile entity of the garrison block, but when I right-click it, it spawns in this thing with the garrison block. This one item can only spawn one type of structure. So what I would have to do is create an item for stone, an item for our emeralds, an item for diamonds, etc. And then it could spawn in the same tile entity, but the structure needs to be different over each one. And there's nothing that says, well, we'd have to add a check to see if it's got the right thing underneath it in that case. I don't have any of the checking
different anyway, because I think there should be a different cost for each different resource gathering structure.
That's true.
I don't think it should be the same cost for a diamond mine as it is for a stone mine.
Yeah. I didn't think that far ahead. I was just thinking a mine would be enough.
And as far as, so in the code for it, you're just going to copy all the same stuff over and change a couple variables, right? It's not a whole lot of unique code that you would need to write. You're just calling a different template, and you're changing the rate that it actually produces resources, and you'll change the cost to buy it.
I'll have to add a bunch more items, but that's probably the most of the code. I just set it so that, like, to create the template, it's one line of code. One line of code inside the item itself to set that specific type of template on that item class. All the code that spawns in is in the parent class. So what are XP stalkers, Booterman? They are the mob in that world. They will drop a different type of leather that's used for tier 2 conveyors. They're faster conveyors. And they drop XP, and they will hunt you down if you're in the dark and have XP in your body. If you don't have XP or you're standing in the light, they won't bother you. As soon as you step out of the light with XP in your body, they will come after you because they stock XP. Yeah, I think you're right. It needs to be done the way you're talking about. I just, like I said, I hadn't thought of a different cost. I was thinking you buy a mine and you can just place it on whatever you find for simplicity. I've also been considering, now that we're doing this, does it make sense to make the player go back to the town center to access the screen that lets you buy stuff, right? Because you'll have to walk into the building. If it's a big complex building, it might be a little bit of a hassle to get in and right-click this block. Versus, could we just have a hotkey, like maybe Y, that brings up a GUI on your screen whenever you click it that lets you buy stuff? Just kind of a little bit more like an RTS, because usually you can buy stuff anywhere. But now that I've got these things spawning in, we definitely can use this first off, so that's great. But then I need to create these entities. I would be tempted to even remove the wool and just place it as a block. I'm considering, do we make the entity outside of that block? I don't know if we talked about that earlier or not. So like it would actually be there.
We did talk about that, but my argument was that this is just as easy to get to as that.
Right, but I'm going for looks. Right, so if I'm not going to be able to make this look like a log, because
yeah, and I think
it's
that's fine.
Be...
You just make it the team color.
Okay.
I'll try and build so that if there is a red block there, it makes sense for the building that you're building. And for now, since we're using this as our town hall, it's going to have banners all over it that are the team banner, and then it's going to have just a red block on the side. And for this, we're just going to leave it right on the corner. But if we start to get more advanced in the future, we might have them in places that are easy to get to. We might have them on 2 corners.
Yeah, and I think
or it might
something
be out like that or something.
Like a town center is going to need a lot of health spots. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But for now, like we can leave it 2 like this, and you can just give them a ton of health.
And these things supposedly spawn entities, so maybe we can spawn the entities with that once we get the mod on here. But the mod needs a lot of work to get it on here. Like, it's not going to find the teams, so it's going to crash, right? Stuff like that. Or we'll have, like, if we placed a garrison inside this, if it was supposed to spawn mobs, it would just start spawning every 10 seconds. And eventually, we'd have too many mobs on the server.
So would it be best to create one state of each building so that you can just get those working for now, and then we can start working on the different states, and then we can just extend that to all the different team colors? Is that the right approach?
Yeah, I think get the basic shape and size of the building for each of the buildings down. We can, for playtesting even, we can spawn them in with the red flags. So nobody's gonna care, right? When the targets are different colors, we'll know what color it actually should be. Then the team of the block I've already handled. So like if this was the block that made this thing work, and you placed it and you're on green, when you place it, it changes it from whatever we put in this world to make it green, because you're green. So it looks at who's placing it and sets it to the same. It'd be really cool if I could scan the banners and had the banner information set somehow, so we only had to make one variation of these and let the code change it. But I just don't know how to set banner logic inside code.
Yeah, I mean it's easy enough just to create a duplicate structure with different banners on it.
Mm-hmm.
We can hack it for now, and then if you come across it in the future, we can change it. Or I guess you can change it. I can't do anything on that side.
You probably could. Well, I'm not doing anything magic. How do you mine Azurium? So you need a machine that's capable of breaking the blocks in the bleak dimension, because that's where it is. And the first machine that you can get is the continuous miner. Then once you get resources from that dimension, you can then build the laser miner, and that can break blocks there as well. And it's much faster. Okay, so let's see. I know I'm going to need to do lots of work for these items, which is fine. But it's a lot of repetitive stuff, and I kind of need to know the names of the structures. So I need the structures there to do it, to test it. I think I'm going to do the entities next for the target. Yeah, unfortunately, Spooderman, it's going to be probably a couple weeks before we have something that's even playable on a crashy terms, like for testing things. If I could base this off of Unity, that would be cool, but I don't think I can. I can't. Yep. Okay. That makes mine. This needs to be an entity instead of a monster entity, right? Like, we'll get there, Spooderman. It's just, there's a lot of work to do still, is all I'm saying. So we need to base this similar to a shulker, so I want to see what a shulker set up as. Shulkers are not monsters, huh? Are they creatures? Type hierarchy. Ageable, golem, monsters, water. Okay, let's just skip straight to entity and get done with this. Okay, so shulker bullet. Slime creature ambient. Shulker was under Golem for real? Wait, what was it? Shulker box. Living. Oh, you mean this? No, that's something different. That's the thing they spit out. Slime. Flying creature. Golem. Shadow. Oh, okay. I was wrong. That's really weird. So I guess we could do ours off of Golem, but I'm not sure why. It's just a crafting ingredient, basically, for Azurium. So either way, it's not a monster. We can just straight up extend creature entity, I think. Go from there. This creature entity is extending mob, and mob extends living, so it can be attacked. That's the important part. So let's create a new class. Target. Yup, can't do that. I wasn't joking, you have to have the machines to do it. That's why I set the dimension up the way I did. Target, entity, extends, creature entity, and we'll just fix the error it's going to give us for doing it that way, but that's fine. It's faster that way. And that is the error right there. Perfect. And there's something we need to implement. It's constructor. Okay. Our constructors we do differently, right? In the case of that one, we do the same monster entity. Type monster. But our minion, we do different. No, we don't. I take it all back. Cool, we'll just do it that way then. Let's keep it super simple for the start. So it's creature entity. Let's register the entity now. Yeah. Drive over a creeper, see what happens. Don't do it in survival though. Okay, so we gotta register this guy. So we're gonna get a entity name set. Name, target, entity. Oop. And there we go. Now, if you're playing on a server, and I know you said you can't, but if you were, and you ran over another player, there's funny messages that come up. And they're randomized, there's like 5 or 6 of them or something like that. Target entity. And this is a target entity there. Okay. And we register here. Anti-range, sure. Target entity. Classification monster, size, we'll say 1-1, assuming that is full block sizes. Should receive velocity updates set to false. Okay. Registry name. Target entity. Oh, you did die? Said don't do it in survival. That was why. So the creepers automatically detonate when you run over them with my machines. Target entity type world is not applicable here. Oh, the creeper died. I thought I made him blow up. Maybe I changed it back. Oh, maybe I've got more than one constructor? No. Definitely don't. So why is it airing off? Archer minion entity new. Oh, is there some other entity called target A? Nope. Entity factory. Let's compare them side by side here. I know they're different types, but that's on purpose. The semi goes fast because it's supposed to be able to pick up the other machines. You put a trailer in its inventory, and then back into the machines with the gate down, and it will pick them up. for most machines. Like the great big ones, it doesn't pick up, but the ones that make sense, like a bulldozer. Hey, Fire.
Hello.
The only other thing I can think of is to have this extend entity monster just for a moment and see if that fixes it, but I don't think that it will. Method create entity type dot ifactory. Maybe it's not an ifactory. So entity type ifactory t. It's its own thing. Something that extends entity, and the other one would have extended entity. Archer and minion entity builder. No, it doesn't work on 114. There's so many changes in 114. I have to rewrite the mod pretty much. No, it doesn't work in anything in 114. It's only 112.2 and older versions of the mod that doesn't have everything work on some older versions, but not 114.
Hopefully, you know, with your time modding this one in 114.
There's nothing right now. You're right, Fire. There's nothing right now.
You know my reason for it. I just want to see that sub underwater with all that, with all the structures and.
Yeah. I just realized that the archer's actually wrong. Oh, this was. Okay. Didn't break this, and this is still broken. I mean, can I do this? I don't think I can, but I'm gonna try. Okay. So target entity. New. I'm just not seeing what the problem is. It's set up the same way as the other mobs. Let's go into the proxy because I think there's something we gotta do there too. And this, we need a renderer. Oh boy. We need a renderer and a model. So we need to fire Blockbench. This model's gonna be so hard for this. Jeez.
What is it gonna be?
You'll see. Just
Uh-oh.
a big cube. And there we go. There's our cube. We created the model. So export as Java entity. Yeah, it's fine. I know that's fine. Java class. We'll want to first add the texture, I guess. So let's find our texture name. Name, resources, assets, TS, RTS. Excuse me. Block. There's some block rancher. Ta-da! Now we can export it. Target model. Okay, is that the right name? And we put that under Java com, TSR, RTS, clients, model, save, and refresh. It doesn't export right. It's made for like a different version of Minecraft or something. Things were named different. For those imports. How do you get livestock in the trailer? Back into them. It only works with, I think, cows. This is so different. I don't know if it's worth it because we're just adding one cube. I can do that in like copying another structure. Let's do this. And give it the right names. And what's its extending? This was a biped. We don't want to do that. We want to go into the biped and look for extends living entity, extends entity model. So we want to do entity model, I believe. so we can get rid of that. We can put this in here. Guess we don't have to have that. We can get rid of this. You might have to hit space or control to put it into the pickup mode. I don't remember if it's space or control. We don't need to set rotation angles, anything different. Target model, we don't need that. We don't need that. Okay, we're getting down to the bare bones here. Perfect. Okay, and then I actually do want the render part. Now that I think about it. There we go. So we can get rid of this and this. Render is still valid. Scale, okay, yeah. And this is airing off because what? Doesn't have a class to it. Yeah, let's get that class on it. It's going to be for target entity. Why are you airing off? Okay, so render doesn't exist on that. Cool. Not with those parameters at least. So let's fix it. There we go. And we want scale there. Ta-da. And why are you airing off T entity in? So target entity. Only thing that happens when I back into a cow is that it dies. No, so like the trailer, the very back of the trailer, not the back of the semi. It's way back there. If the cow's dying, it's way too close, because the cow should only die if it's on the cab part, if it's in the cab part of the trailer, or the semi, I mean. Okay, so this class is all happy, right? Once it's saved. No. Oh, we got to give it the right package name. There we go. And then our render class, we should be able to mostly copy one of these. Yeah, let's just start with one of these. So copy, and we'll take target renderer. Come on, open up. Oh, it did. So it's a entity renderer. Because this was entity model. Yep. And it's going to take a target entity. And target model. I don't know then, man. I don't know. Not sure what you might be doing wrong. We definitely don't need to add the layer for that. We want to go target model type's gonna be target entity again. Ender. Target. Come on, stop giving me errors for everything. Oh, it just extends an entity. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Biped render needs the model. So that means this class is supercall. Needs a different set of parameters. Just the render manager, okay. You need a blueprint first, and you get a blueprint from scanning a build in the world with the holo scanner. And so we've got it set up so we can get multiple different types of textures now. The texture files themselves are incorrect, but we can fix that by looking at the path to the block textures instead. Or just copying them, I guess. That would work too. Yeah, let's go ahead and copy. And open the window. So the block ones here, if we do the mine site, for example, put them into entity, paste them in, and start renaming them. So this will be target entity target underscore blue entity entity blue. That works. Then rename these. And we're an entity, so we just need those names. So just put in, so it's that yellow. There we go.
Do you know how much I purely enjoy Minecraft, manually setting up Minecraft?
Not at all. But multi-MC doesn't work. Oh my gosh. TZ, what is this?
I can't even find my freaking folder.
Oh, there's a button inside the launcher that finds the folder. What is this, TZ?
What does it look like?
I could say it could be a town center.
Okay. Well, I failed. It is supposed to be a barracks tent.
Okay, I could see that too.
I didn't. We'll go with this for now. I'm not super happy with it, but
No, it works.
it should work.
It'll be a good test for me to test out if this actually works, because I didn't put the number 7, even though our town center was 7. So I want to make sure that it works with this size too. And I didn't screw something up. Okay, now what? I gotta figure out why this is airing off, and I have no clue why it's airing off. Let's try this trick. Close Eclipse, and restart it.
Are torches entities?
They're blocks.
Okay. Done. There should be a barrack saved.
Cool. So if I look on the server, there's a barracks red 2 in BT. So if I launch this and this and go to that server world, generated Minecraft structures red. Cool. So now over here, I go to data structures. I open that folder. And download it off the server. Okay, got it as part of the VOD now. The structure file is not actually like set up to spawn it or whatever. Okay, so this is in air. It actually is in air. Very weird.
Is it just world edit on the server?
Yes.
Okay. Server address in the
Same port or same IP address like always, the TS craft blah blah blah. But
Okay.
25575 are the numbers for the port.
Alright. I'm guessing since you're announcing it on a stream that it's like whitelist.
Yes, it is. In fact, you will need to be added to the whitelist. Add.
I decided I don't like my barracks.
Oh, what? I already got it in the mod, man.
Go ahead. I'm gonna tear this down and make it decent. It's just for testing, but
You know, Tech,
Yeah.
not to add a whole lot of work to you, but it'd be really cool that if each individual player could create their own building and have it be for their building. You know what I mean?
Oh God, that would be horrible. Because
no, that's
it would be cool, but it would be horrible because what's to
I know.
stop?
Think of the trolls.
Yeah, what's to stop somebody from
Designing
yeah.
a labyrinth to get to their piece.
Yeah. It could be cool though. If player name equals fiery, make the roof on fire for everything or something, right?
Well, I mean, like, oh God, how would that even work? I suppose.
So the way that we're setting this up, each team has a different structure because we wanted to be able to use different banners on them, right? So there's a green banner and blue banner, but there's nothing stopping us from setting up a
custom.
Completely different. Like, let's say we
My
wanted-
grand vision is that there is a different build style for each different team color,
Yes.
because each different team color is a different quote race.
Yes.
Gauls, Teutons, Romans, Greeks, whatever,
Egyptians.
Chinese, whatever you want to do.
Yep. So each, like, green might be Chinese, like you say. And their structures function the same. They still do the same thing, but they
They
look
just
different. Now, CZ, the one thing that you'd have to constrain yourself to make it fair is make them all have the same size structure.
They'd have to have the same build volume. They don't have to have the same size. Maybe they have to have the same size for.
Well, if we're saying
Or a
that
tier.
it's a square footprint, wouldn't the volume be the same?
I'm saying, like, I can have a build volume, but it's mostly empty space.
Yes, yes. I'm saying the blueprint or the scanned area needs to be the same.
Yeah, yeah.
So that we enforce that, everybody needs a 5x5 to build the barracks.
But whether that build volume is filled with blocks or filled with mostly air, like, it could make sense if you have a more nomadic tribe where the buildings are just mostly tents and there's not a whole lot there. Whereas if you have like a
Yeah.
Roman tribe, it's going to be like very built permanent structures,
Yep.
Yes.
stone and stuff.
Yep.
255 what?
7.5, I think. If you can't get in, let me know, and I will look it up.
7.5.
Thank you, Caesar. I would have done that, but I didn't want to show it on stream.
Okay, tiny tent, tiny tent, tiny tent. There he is.
That's what this does.
Thank you, sir. You're a gentleman and a scholar.
You're very welcome.
All right, what do we need?
So Spooderman, if you make a blueprint, do I just enter the blueprint in the crane, give it the blocks to build, and hit start to start building? Yes, you'll need to go into its settings button or whatever, and it will let you list out all the blueprints you've scanned. Yeah, that's just showing you what the blueprint would look like if it were to build it again. Just break the crane and it'll fix itself.
All right. Anybody tackle the mining sites yet?
No, we were just kind of roughing out what they might look like. Not that they have to look like this, but like how they would work because they're different than the other ones.
Oh, I need to add a new rule to the builds.
So Fire, initially I was thinking in the world we would have ores like that, right? They would just be kind of random. And we would place the mine sites, because I was thinking they'd be one block, directly above them. If we have a bigger mine site, this changes, right? You can really only have one, and the mine site might take up a 3x3 area.
So that's how big you want it?
It could be bigger. I'm just saying that changes how we would place the ores in the world, right? Because
All right.
placing another one here doesn't make you gather any more resources. Placing one there could, because you'd put another mine site right beside it. So mine sites are a little bit unique. They're not like the other buildings. Make sure the floor print is a square. So
Okay.
3x3, 5x5, 7x7, etc.
Yeah, I just added a new build rule. Footprint must be square.
Thank you.
And and we need another one. It cannot be larger than 32 by 32.
Yeah, you won't even be able to scan it. Why is this airing off? Okay, let's just look at that portion of it. It's the same thing airing off on it. And we tried making it extend monster entity, right? Like, what software do I use to actually stream? OBS, Open Broadcast Software. Is there like another method I need to do? Nope. Archer's okay. OBS. That's why I stream with. Because, no, that's got its own thing. This is Monster. Monster has one constructor. Creature has one.
Oh yeah, I knew there was something I forgot to do. Goodbye, music. While we're at it, bye, weather.
I already killed the weather in the world.
Well, just in case.
It's forever day. Mobs don't spawn. Blah blah. We did a ton of settings when we first set this world up. So, Fiery, as you're building the mine site, the actual ores won't be part of the structure that you're trying to build. You can place them there for your own benefit, but we don't want to scan the ore.
Okay, I can always delete them if need be.
Yeah. And you don't want to scan the ground anyway, so the way you've got it right now is fine. Let's look at the entity again, the error message. Target entity. is
Susie,
mine.
what team are you working on?
I think we want to just do red for now. We can easily copy things over and change the colors later on. So just build red, and we'll just get one damage state of each, the completed pristine state of each type of structure.
All right.
Watch this. I bet CZ doesn't know this.
What was that? That's a thing?
Mm-hmm. That's why I said, I bet CZ doesn't know this. Like, didn't know that was a thing. Like, it doesn't have to be there, but that would go really well with the campsite like that, right?
Hey, how do I copy this banner?
Control middle click on the banner. It'll take the exact banner and everything. It's just glass fire?
No. That's the mine blocks.
But there's only going to be one. Because they're going to click on a spot on the ground, and I need to know where to spawn it in. So we're going to spawn it in for one. So all of these blocks that do things will have the one tile entity block. So one. We talked about maybe 2 for a tier 2, but I think 1 is what we want to start with for now.
All right.
Okay, so this error message. Method.
We eventually gonna have a map maker server.
This is it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to find a small corner of the world then.
No. So don't do it in this world. We'll set up a different world for it. Like I can save this world off, and we could switch between the worlds.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to keep the world you guys are building in around in case 2 months from now we're like, oh, we really just need to add this block to all of these, right? We can just go back in there and add it real quick and be done. Or whatever.
Tech, will your dudes hurt themselves on this campfire? Will they spawn here and just walk over the campfire immediately?
Possibly.
Okay. Because it is a little cramped in this place once you... If they're spawning here and they're walking just around. I don't know, I might need to just make one small tent.
Oh, and they hurt you. I wasn't sure if they would. You could always put the campfire like over here too, so it's out of their path, and then that's fine. They shouldn't try to walk directly over here, because this is, you know, where you place this is where they have to click, right? That's the center of everything. So this is where the player is going to click, and that means the mob's going to spawn here and walk to that block. So that is out of their way. I kind of like having the campfire there. It kind of gives away that that's there. I know the big flag does too, but if it was just the campfire, the smoke coming up would give it away. I don't know how far away you can see it though. Alright, what do you got in mind? I'll stop asking. You do you, and then I'll ask questions after you're done.
I'm encasing it in glass, okay?
Okay. Target entirely does not define entity type T.
I'm gonna overwrite that old barracks tech.
Okay. Is that what it wants? That's probably what it wants. Yeah, the spider's pretty cool. What do you want? I don't understand. Because this works and this was the way it was. Can we just do that? Do you like that? I doubt it, but that'd be cool if you did. That's a no. I'm gonna have to search for this one because this doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Probably nobody's had this. Tile entities or entity type registry.
We got everything we need right here. Wine and burning chemistry. You and me alone. You and me alone. Inside of our embassy. Everything we need right here. Make me sing along. Sing along. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. I never thought I'd ever be stuck by you. Oh, watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. We got everything we need, right? Watch me dancing in the colors, lightning, blowing up a thunder, wash it over me. Yeah, we got everything we need right here.
Can I do it that way? I doubt it. I'm gonna try it.
Moonlight on your naked skin, summer's blindness to heaven. Where you wanna go, where you wanna go. Stars align onto your face.
Three bargains to match. It's declassification. Wait, what? You can do it without the freaking. Huh? You just call create. I'm gonna try that. I don't think it's gonna work, but I'm gonna try it because I'm not sure why it's not working the other way. So this takes target entity and target entity render.
Sharing all your deepest dreams, wonder what they really mean. Yeah, in the empty bottle lies all the answers.
I just call it target render. I did.
Feel the things you wanna feel. Yeah, in the empty bottle lies all the answers.
Okay, let's see if it works. Whoa, Fiery's like got some major plans for this. So Fiery, welcome to Discord, Spooderman. When we go to place these down, it's going to check to make sure that this area is flat. it's not flat, you can't place it. So that would limit our map. If you need a space this big around the mine, then you'll have to make sure it's flat. Not saying we can't do that, just keep that in mind as you're building it.
Okay.
And what did we say, Fire CZ? Isn't there like an area around the whole thing that the entities, we need like a one space gap so that the entities can get up to it, so that somebody doesn't put it right up against the wall. If you put it right up against the wall, then somebody could make it so you can't get to their block that's vulnerable. Or whatever. Okay, now after all of that, what did we do? We created a new entity, so summon TSRTS. There's a target entity. Target entity. Unable to summon entity. That's not cool. Oh, it just dies? It doesn't tell me why? Cool. Well, that's a failure.
Oh, yeah, duh.
Okay, Tech. What do you like for barracks? Big tent or small tents? The big tent needs some work still. Hang on. Come back to me.
Okay, Mr. World Editor, how do we change stuff?
What do you want?
I set 2 positions. I want it to be filled with stone in between.
That should do it. There's tab completion, so you
I
can.
tried that and it said no.
I feel your pain. I'm trying to summon my new entity and it's just saying unable. No error message other than unable.
It works for me, because there's a giant block of stone over here.
Do you have both points set, Fire?
Yeah.
I think you have to do the Minecraft colon thing, though. You can't just say stone.
Yeah. Target entity. No. Comma. I don't understand.
I don't know. It didn't want to do it the first time I tried it.
Okay, let's extend unit entity for the moment. Pretend we're a minion. Oh my gosh. That's why. Oh my gosh. I know what's wrong. Finally.
Did you forget to cross your T's and dot your I's again?
No, I forgot to actually look at the code I was typing and cut and pasting.
Oh, so you did the really crazy thing.
Yeah. How do you join what, Spooderman? The server that here we're on doesn't have the heavy machinery mod on it. That's what you're asking. So that one you can't join. That's not for people from the stream to join. That's just TS Craft members. Took down the big one. You did. I didn't even get to answer you. Okay. Then. Oh,
It's right
yep.
here.
Oh, well, you moved it then. Oh yeah, we wanted everything facing the north too, didn't we?
Yeah, that's part of why I rotated. I was trying to see if I could build a more square-looking tent.
So fire, your door might need to be on the far side, so that you're looking north when you look at the door. So the door would have to be over here. Because we'll want to scan it from over here, and I
This
guess with,
glass isn't the building tech.
right. Well, you have a door over there, so I said that. If you build something else that has an actual door, then you'll want it on this side. That's what I'm saying.
Freezing outside, a little bit high on the feeling. Can't see to
So Spooderman, the two Minecrafts I keep flipping back and forth are ones you can't join. Yeah, you can't join that one. It's whitelisted. Doesn't have any mod on it anyway. Not the machinery mod. Okay, so too many things. Summon TS Craft RTS entity target entity, and it summoned it, it says, but I don't see it, but it is there. Cool. And why is it not there?
smoking outside, trying to get your attention. You make me nervous.
So it's a different server with the heavy machinery mod.
In the corner of my bed,
If you wanted to join that one, you can.
you were getting by some rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to
So if you go to the mod testing server channel in Discord, the very top of it there's instructions.
sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty
There's a pinned message in there. So we registered the renderer for it, but it's not rendering. Why? I'll move out of your way, Fiery. So, in Discord, there's this channel. So you're probably in general. You go to this mod testing server. And in there, at the very top of it, if you scroll up, here's the instructions.
I know that we just met the other night, but I can't get you off my mind. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty up
So is it because of the way I changed something? Something I said? What's going on here in Minecraft? Target entity. Target entity. Are you even trying to render? Target Render. Are you trying to get this? Probably not. Neither one of those are running. Cool. Clearly, I'm missing something. Call hierarchy. That's probably it. Yeah, that's probably it. Restart yet again. Ooh, bunk beds. Can you stop a player in adventure mode from right-clicking on a bunk bed or on a bed? Let me just try it. Can only sleep at night. Not sure if that'd be a problem or not. Guess they would just sleep and then it'd be day.
Why would it be a problem if players try and sleep in there?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm just trying to think through. Do we need to limit blocks at all? I don't know that we do. Still not rendering. Let's take damage. Summon another one. Like if we put an ender chest, somebody could exploit that somehow, maybe. Or a crafting table, right? If they got stuff, they could start crafting. We don't want them to craft. But maybe not. Maybe I can remove recipes or something. Why don't you render? The target entity wants to render the target render. Wait. Let's go to this. It's an abstract class. Render. Render entity on fire.
Okay. Yeah, just for starters, which do you like better, big tent or little tents? I guess I can say both of them, but
If I can get in creative, so I can fly around them.
I don't know. I kind of like the little tents, but I mean, it's a lot of room.
Yeah. It is a lot of room. We're going to need to play in definitely flat areas if this is our barrack. Like,
wait,
mostly
if the
flat.
little tents is? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Even with the big one, it's decent sized, so we'll need some flat areas. Your flag's outside your area too.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it, either one, to be honest. But if that's going to be the size of our barracks and that might be the size of our mine sites, we need a plains that's mostly flat, like flatter than most plains are, right? Because plains will have things that stick up like that, and you can't place next to that. You got to place it so that the corner's there. So you need from there to there, there. And that whole thing has to be flat if that's how big your building is.
I bet big.
Yeah, and I think you're gonna have to prepare the map that you want to play on.
Yeah, it's starting to look that way. I kind of wanted it
But
to
I
be
think you
have
need,
terrain to it. But
yeah.
like initially we can do super flats too. That would be fine. So we have walls and we can do whatever. We could basically like Cobble Wars and Death Cube, a map similar to that, right? Maybe not with a lava lake in the middle, but stuff super flat that you build in. So why isn't this rendering? Probably because it's not creating the model. That'd be one. But even then, the render is still not rendering. So where's my breakpoint? I don't have one. Okay. Say at override. Which means that this needs to be Terminity. Ah. So this code needs to go down there. different than when we do it that way. Okay. This can go away. We say do render. Now we're getting somewhere. Public, whoa, public model, base model, target. Oh wait, we want target entity, target model, model. Model. Can you make a video showing how to use some of the things in your heavy machine rod? I kind of have before. There's some on my channel, but not the latest stuff. Things saying don't care, agent ticks, don't care. Scale. Don't care. Guess we can say that to 1. Now what don't you like? Chains method, render, entity. So we'll just cast it to a title entity. Targeted entity. There we go. Ta-da. Put a breakpoint there, put a breakpoint here, put a breakpoint in. We already got one in there, let's put one in there. See what happens. You picked the hard one, didn't you, Fairy? I don't know what a mine site should look like either. Not in Minecraft. Maybe he fell asleep.
He said he would be right back.
Oh. Guess I didn't hear him. Okay, so our target render does run. And this is on startup that it runs. Okay. We didn't set this to any instance of the model itself, so this is going to crash. Cool. Equals new target model. There we go. Means we need to just restart this now. You going for another barracks, or what you doing?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, so that's stopping there as expected. Did create the model this time.
I is back.
Hi back.
Har 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 har.
I'm not hard of hearing at all. What are you talking about? Ooh, it's trying to render it now. Yeah, cool. It's kill all these breakpoints then.
Homemade banana bread.
but it's not rendering. Yum. Could make me hungry.
Oh
Why is
man.
it not getting the texture? Come on, people.
Homemade banana bread with a piece of frickin' eggshell in it.
That's how you can tell it's homemade.
Right? That's the love.
Or the hate. Choke on an eggshell. Hmm. Well, I'm not sure what this is about, why this is rendering this way. It is calling the render code, right? Yes. Let's try.
Ooh, I know. It's rendering that way because you told it to.
Yes, you're right. I always say computers do exactly what you told them to. It's just you have to be careful what you tell them to do. So let's do this dot bind entity texture, which we'll call get entity texture for this entity before we try and render the entity. Really? Change bind texture. It just takes an entity? Oh, okay, so it just calls. Okay. I was taking one step further. It does it for me.
This thing gonna be able to put down a minecart with a rail with a minecart on it.
Rail, yes, minecart now. Right now we're saying we're not going to spawn entities in minecarts of entities.
Is an armor stand with
It's an entity.
stuff on it an entity?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you can look at it and hit F3B and there's a bounding box around it, it's an entity. It's an easy way to check.
Okay, well, on that note, let's turn that on, and then if I happen to put something down that has one, I gotta go, nope.
Although maybe we do want entities, because then we can make them look really cool. But it would be extra laggier. Never mind. That's probably a good enough reason by itself to not induce lag.
Alright, how's this for stone mine? It's hard to do an above ground structure that represents a mine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm like running into.
And also keep it relatively simple and relatively small. I guess it doesn't have to be simple, but
I mean, this works for me.
that
No.
might be our starter. Oh. I need team colors somehow.
You know what? I'm gonna switch gears to something I think I can easily do. A wood farm.
Good, because we're not even sure how we're going to handle that. So, right now in the game, you can gather all the resources except for wood. Because I wasn't sure how we should do that.
Well, I told you how to do it.
Yeah, I know. But when I set it up, I wasn't sure how to do it. And if Fiery's gonna do it some different way than that, then you've got an idea in mind. Or are you thinking of more like a lumberyard, Fiery?
Yeah, I'm just gonna make like a really tiny lumberyard.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay, that was kind of not what I wanted to do.
Why is this guy not rendering?
Oh, that's why. Huh, that was hilarious.
You will not be AFK, what do you mean? That means you're gonna be here? Why are you telling me you're gonna be here?
Structure saved. Can we play the game yet?
Can't even get the block or the stupid target thing to show. It's kind of an important feature.
Yeah, a little bit.
Let's make sure all that's good. So let's try that again. Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. They're child models for to render. Okay, so I need to just go and look at some other code where things are actually being rendered correctly and do the same. So let's do that. Get back to my code with a minion model, the biped, where the biped has its own blocks getting set up. So it creates a render model. Let's get our target model over here popped out. Let's see both. Creates a render model. It adds a box, so it's creating a cube list in this case. So that rotation point is being done. Okay, let's start editing this code ourselves. So box, right? Because that's all we care about is that it's a box. We don't want to do cube list, we want to do add box. Add box. And it's going to go from 0, 0, 0. And it's 16, 16, 16. Right? Okay. Set the rotation point after the box has been added, which is not important. render just says render with the scale. Okay, let's try that. Spooderman, there's a star for you to get. Might despawn by the time you can jump though.
So there's no way for us to tell what structures are saved with this structure block. Like, there's no way to tell what's saved on the server. You would have to go and look at the files and tell us.
Probably. What's one of them called? Town. Yeah. So right now there's stone _ red _ 2, barracks _ red _ 2, and town hall _ red _ 2.
There should also be a barracks 2 _ red _ 2.
Was it in the Minecraft name? Or did you put it under something else?
Barracks Minecraft barracks 2 _ red _ 2. It's the big 10.
Didn't catch what you said. Let me look. Minecraft. Did you not hit save? It's this one, right? We could just hit save on it and it should
Yeah.
overwrite. Now it's there.
But my point was,
You have no way of knowing
there's no
that it
way
was
for
there.
me as a player
Yeah.
to tell what's there.
Yeah. Other than going into a load block and trying to load it and see if it works.
Even there, you have to know how it's spelled exactly.
Mhm. No, stars are not to be begging for. I still don't see this guy. I'm about ready to kick him in the head because he's getting frustrated.
Fiery, keep in mind that you can't change the floor blocks.
I know.
Whatever
It was just what spawned when I grew it.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you built this tree.
No, I didn't build it. No. Here, watch.
That's not over 32 tall, is it?
I don't know. I didn't count it when it grew. See?
Cool.
I didn't know he touched the ground like that.
And I'll count for you, Tech.
No, just use the structure block to do it. You can just type in 32. Structure size.
Or you can use your world edit one or something. You can do / size.
This block here, or this box here is 32.
But 22. It's 22. I didn't even mean to grow one that big. Like the other one that I just like, I was hoping for like one this size, honestly.
Ah, wrong game. Summon. TS, RTS. Target. Oh. You're not the target. What the heck? Translate, getting it to the right position in the world. Rotate. Rotate. Pushing the matrix, okay. Translate. Call list. Display list. What's display list? 2. Going into that. Okay. Child models is just nothing. We skip that. Oh. And it pops the matrix because it thinks it's done rendering, basically, and pops it again. But it doesn't actually render anything. Or hooky. So what does add box do then? Cool, it doesn't run when we have to start the game to get that to run. Bloop. Biped model again. It gets the head. Renders the head. Some rotation angles. Doesn't do anything with setting rotation. Rotation stuff. Copy model angles, head rare, okay. Yeah. Let's step into this. It creates a new, those are texture offsets. Set the prop. Set to 0 though, that's what I would set it to. Adding to the cube list. It does get added. There's 6 quads, so that'd be all sides, 6 sides of it. And 8 vertices, that would be all the vertices for a cube. So it should be an actual cube. Okay. rotation point could have been it potentially if it was like being rotated somehow to be underground based on that.
Didn't you tell me just last night that spawning this ND would be easy?
I've got the entity spawning, but it's not drawing it. It's right
Okay.
there in front of me.
Okay. Yeah,
But-
I saw the bounding box on it, but
What the heck? And it's just a cube. I mean, that's like the simplest thing in the world to draw. Why is it so hard?
so what makes it a cube is that box.addBox method?
Mm-hmm.
And the arguments are the relative position of the vertices?
Yeah, so it was a offset and then a depth, width, and height. Or something, or depth, height, and width, whatever.
And that's just a forge method?
It's a vanilla thing.
Oh, okay.
Let's try super.render. super.render. Nope, no change. Box dot.
How do you render them when you have different models for them?
What do you mean?
Like your mini-me's and your machinery stuff, there's models that you have them instead of just creating a box?
Yeah, so the mini-me's are using the biped model, which is part of Minecraft. But even then, this biped model, when you look at it, it's just creating a render model, adding a box, with specific size and everything, and its rotation point. So that's why I copied this piece of it, essentially, creating my own box of my own size, of course. But it's not working. And then down in the render method, it calls biped head dot render with the scale. Is it because the scale's 0 or something silly? Oh, that could be it. What do we set the scale to?
Okay.
1, 3.
I think this is about as good as I can get it without getting really high detail and overcomplifying this thing.
Oh, I forgot that lanterns are a thing now.
You're welcome.
So does having a stone cutter pose a gameplay mechanic issue? When we give the player stone brick, can he go in here and create something else then?
I hope not. Because I couldn't find anything else that screamed wood cutting.
What in the world is a fletching table?
It's a thing that doesn't have a
That's how
purpose
you
yet.
make bows now.
Are you sure, Fari? I thought they didn't have a feature for it. Like it didn't do anything yet.
I can't right click it.
Yeah.
Okay, then it's probably not implemented yet, but that's what they want to do.
There's a blast. What in the world? Blast furnace?
Yeah, we've played with that one.
What are all these new blocks? What's a smoker do?
It's for smoking fish.
Food.
And the blast furnace is just faster than a normal furnace? What is
Yep.
it?
But it only works on blocks, I think, that doesn't fry. Like, it wouldn't work for cooking food, that's what I'm saying.
You could turn stone bricks into chiseled stone, slabs, stairs, or stone wall. That's it. So, and I really don't think that would be that major of a deal, really.
Well, it might be because I'm going to put players in adventure mode.
Just leave it in, and we'll figure it out in playtesting.
I can open it. You want to toss me that stone brick you got in your hand? I want to see if I can actually use it to craft stuff. Adventure mode. Yeah, it'll let me. So I can get slabs from adventure mode. It's probably not the end of the world. I was just curious.
I wonder if there's a way you can disable it,
Maybe.
because I'm only trying to have it there for decoration, really.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth worrying about right now.
I mean, it was either that or an item frame with an axe in it.
And you can't do that. Because that's an entity again.
Item frames are entities.
Okay, so it's
So
not.
I don't think you actually need a living tree for something to represent a lumber yard. The pile of logs is yeah, like you definitely need that. And then a pile of planks, that looks good too. Rails are blocks, so you might be able to do the classic rail tie down for a stack of logs thing. And then instead of just an open thing like this, you might just want to put a tiny little shack. You can copy the shack from the village over here and use that. It's a tiny little lumber house. Or no, this isn't for this is where you're theoretically carving up the logs. I see.
Right.
Then I would put the saw at the end. Let's see, if I may. Oh.
One, two, three. One, two. Ah, there's an extra one there. Okay. One.
Oh, it's a half block tall.
What's a half block called?
The
Stone cutter.
I'm trying to think of like in an actual sawmill. They have a little table and they just slide the log over.
Yeah, I
Saw
know.
it
I was
now.
actually trying to think of what I could use for that too. I just couldn't think of anything.
I think this is about the best I can do, where you just have some stone slabs or maybe some smooth stone slabs.
Yeah, that actually looks better, I think.
You have some sort of slabs that are here out next to it, and I would center this under the little roof. And I would, just to like really drive it home, I would set this up in an orientation so that you have logs on one side, and then on the side with the saw you have planks. Just because you're not gonna saw them and then move the planks over to a completely different area. So maybe, let's see, we take this and we put it there.
Actually, that's too many lanterns. Let's go. Those outside ones.
What do you think about those locations for the targets and the spawn block, though?
That's fine with me.
Because the thing is, the pink ones, they need to be open so that you can shoot them with a bow pretty easily, and you can run up to them and get to them and whack them. And then the orange one needs to be accessible for you to run up and, I guess, no. From the resource blocks, I guess you don't actually need to interface with it. I've been kind of putting them in the center.
Oops.
What the heck? Oh, is that it? That could be it.
I think that looks pretty good right there.
I'm trying to think about any more detail we might be able to add.
I mean, because we don't want to go too complicated, because this is only supposed to be tier 1, right?
Well, right now we only have one tier. We have damage states, but I don't think we've talked about upgrading these yet. Like, seriously. We can always go bigger.
Well, I'm afraid we're gonna run out of space, to be honest. If we're gonna have a match, what all would we need? We're gonna need at least one lumber camp, one for diamonds, gold, and iron at a minimum, possibly 2 or 3 of each of these resources. Right, so if that's a 5x5 and we've got what, 5 or 6 resources here, that's 5x5 areas just for those. We haven't even gotten a town center, barracks, archery range, etc.
I think your
right?
map's going to be huge.
Right. And initially, because of Minecraft, I was thinking we might have to chunk load the entire thing, entire map that we play in for both teams.
Well, your town stuff and resources are probably going to be around wherever you are. Probably going to be chunk loaded just by you needing to interact.
But what about when you go to attack, though?
Yeah, when you go to attack the enemy, that's when they're not going to be loaded. I'm not suggesting or saying we've done anything wrong. We won't know until we play it and
If it's
See
any
what happens.
consolation to you, I tried making it as tiny as possible. It's just hard.
I think having a huge map though is really going to help you with the whole scouting problem that we were talking about yesterday.
I'll be right back. I have to go
Yep.
do something for Mama.
okay.
If you're necessarily having to play on a huge scale, then you're not going to be able to keep an eye on what your enemy's doing, but you could go and take a look at what they're doing. So it kind of handles itself just by scaling everything up.
Yeah.
Because that's something that I was a little worried about, was if you're going to be able to see everything that everybody's doing all the time, then
That's where
that's a huge mechanic.
also I was thinking, if you allow terrain to not be perfectly flat, that helps with that too, right? So if your enemy is over a hillside, you have to go over that hillside to even see him. Spooderman, that's basically a crafting ingredient at this point. It's supposed to transmit power, but it doesn't work right yet. You use it to craft the generator, which is used for something else.
I wish you'd stay, but there you go. I have so much I wanna say to you, much I wanna say, but there's no time. We used it all. Still have so much I wanna talk about.
Everything I'm trying is not doing anything. It's calling the rendering code. I could add the points to the frickin' world easier by hand instead of this. And this is like super simple code. It's just adding a box and then that box should get rendered. I'm not following why it's not working. Annotations. Translate everything. And just does it. Renders it. Same idea. It's used for absolutely nothing right now, but it's meant to store power. Think of it as a future thing that'll add. But these are like negative values too, where they're starting. And they go up to 8. 8. What if I change my sizes of this, just for the fun of it? -4. 8. Where's that call from? Call hierarchy. $32 or $64. Oh, those are great big. Okay. Let's make it 32. See if that does it. Oh, was I in the way? If I'm ever in your way, just teleport me. Just there so I could flip back and forth, basically. I might have to go to bed soon. I'm getting tired.
My internet is dying, so I'm gonna need to head out too. But that what I set up there wasn't square, so make sure you make it square before you save it.
Okay.
All right, talk to you tomorrow.
Yep. Good night. Damn, that still didn't work. Well, we know it's trying though. That's the important part. It's registered right. It just can't. Is it a render model? Render model. This 0, 0. Okay, we're doing this. What's the difference? That sets the texture offsets. Okay. So we do want that. Yeah, I'm gonna restart one more time, see if this fixes it, because that's possible. So I don't know if we set the texture offset anywhere, and maybe it's drawing. It found the texture, so it's not giving a missing texture, but it's just off the texture completely for some reason or something silly. If this doesn't work, I'm probably gonna go to bed because I'm getting so tired that that could be the problem. I'm not seeing what the issue is because I'm tired. Oh, how do you power the crusher? You right click it with a fuel can and that gives it fuel. Makes its own power. When you go into its GUI, it should say that there's a fuel above it. Whatever. Where's the block at? It says this isn't square, but where's the block? Boop. Boop. Ah! There's no way for me to see that. Okay. Do we see the entity or not? We need to remove the breakpoint, don't we? Nope, we don't see it. And that's it for tonight, I think, guys. Summon, TS, RTS, target entity, just to make sure. Yeah, it's just not there. There's so much work this thing needs to do. Like, it shouldn't be able to move, it shouldn't be impacted by gravity, blah, blah, blah. Yep. Good night. Night, everybody. I will maybe see you tomorrow.